Started. They gave me a gavel, and so I'm going to call this meeting to order until our chair gets here. So here you go. My notes seriously say, use gavel. So I did. So I'd like to call this meeting to order at 4:01 p.m. Trustee Gonzalez, will you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, pursuant to Board Policy 2350, persons may speak to the Board of Trustees either on an agenda item or on other matters of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction before any board action is taken. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes on the same or a substantially similar subject, unless the majority of the board votes to extend the time limit. As a matter of policy, members of the board may not discuss or respond to matters raised during public comment unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion or action in open session. Anyone who requires a accommodation in order to participate in the public meeting should contact the Chancellor's office as far in advance of the board meeting as possible. So, public comments, do we have any?
Yes, we have one.
We have one public comment, and it is it is from Devin Bennett. Is Devin Bennett here? Thank you.
So I'm Devin Bennett. I'm the head softball coach at Bernardino College. I just wanted to share with you guys the success of the team. It's not on. It's all right. I don't like my voice. I'm delighted to bring to your attention the remarkable achievements of our softball team, which have been accomplished but despite some challenging factors, as you know, absence of a field and many, many rain days. Their dedication, skills, and resiliency have resulted in an outstanding season that deserves recognition and celebration. Here are some of the notable accomplishments our team has done. Our team boasts an exceptionally talented pitcher, Sofia Gonzalez, who has honored the team with the prestigious title of Pitcher of the Year for the conference, as well as honor of being placed on the All-State team. She was the Pitcher of the Week for the entire state. She set a new strikeout record for San Bernardino with 130. Two of our student athletes, Caitlin as first team all-conference. 3 of our freshmen have earned honors of second team all-conference. They were Hannah Gilfus, Aubrey Slider, and Tara Walker. Additionally, we had a transfer student, Monique Davila, who received an honorable mention in all-conference. She transferred to us from a program that didn't care about her academics, nor what would happen to her during her sophomore year, but she thrived here. The remarkable efforts of the team was acknowledged multiple times, as 12 of our players were recognized Conference Player of the Week, 14 notable performances of the week at the state level. Our team also displayed academic excellence. We are proud to have Soraya Diaz accomplish the 4.0 this spring semester and graduated with honors. She also was awarded Academic All-American for the state and at the national level. Despite the challenges we faced, our team's determination set us up for the first time since 2000. National performances have garnished a significant attention and result in ranging from offers from 4-year schools from 10 to 30 schools recruiting them, and 4 being Division I's. Our job is to help these student athletes succeed, and the support the school gave us from the use of the hotspot allowed us to live stream our games so our student athletes could be seen across the country. We would like to thank 2 of the board members, Joseph Williams and Nathan Gonzalez, for following us on social media and constantly supporting us. We really enjoyed that. We also would like to thank our chancellor for coming out. We saw you. We actually screamed at you, but they were so thrilled that you were there. We just saw you getting in the car. We would like to present the 3 of you guys with signed media guides. So please join me in a heartfelt congratulations to the team and exceptional individuals who comprise.
Your term is complete.
Devin Bennett, you may not like the sound of your voice, but you just used it quite admirably in regards to your team. Excellent work.
Coach, if you could please give our congratulations to your phenomenal athletes and their achievements. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you. And if you don't mind, can we grab a picture with you and Trustee Gonzalez and Trustee Williams? Please.
We'll post this on Instagram.
You did good.
I'm sure Angel will tell us. Right? You're perfect. You're perfect. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Congratulations.
Very cool. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to be a little tardy. I don't know. I was at a graduation, so I'm a little bit sweaty. Let me catch my breath. All right. We are on to item number 3, which is the oath of office. And tonight we have 2 student trustees who were elected by the students at their colleges to serve a 1-year term to provide student perspective and advocate on their behalf, or advocate on their behalf. As an official member of the board, the student members have the same responsibility as all trustees to make board decisions that benefit the community as a whole and students of the future, as well as the current student body. Michelle, now, is it Lee or Lai?
It's Lee.
Lee, thank you. Represents Crafton Hills College, and, Damien, I'm saying it wrong. Diami. I knew that wasn't right. I'm like, I saw it on this sheet, and then I looked at your face, and I'm like, wait, no, I know you. Ruiz Martinez represents San Bernardino Valley College. Please move to the front of the dais for the oath of office. Am I doing this?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I, okay. We're moving?
Yes.
Okay. You want to do it here? Okay.
You got a nice
Sure.
photograph right there.
Okay, so we'll start with Michelle. We'll make sure you're front and center. Okay.
I think they want you to get the microphone over here.
Microphone? Oh, thank you. Okay, you ready? The question is, am I ready? I'm sure you're ready. So go ahead and raise your right hand, and then you say, I state your name,
Michelle Lee,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Constitution
and allegiance to the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of California,
of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation
reservation,
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and, and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties upon
the duties upon
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, you are sworn in. Glasses on, glasses off. Great, congratulations. Okay, was that an okay cadence? Was that an okay cadence? I'm always worried there's going to be too many words and then, you know.
Oh, no, that was good.
You're good? Okay. All right. So, I,
I,
state your name,
Yami Ruiz Martinez,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which
discharge
I'm about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm still sweating just a little bit. Okay, here we go. So we're going to move on to our order of business, and we'll start with approval of the minutes. So I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on our minutes of 5/11/2023. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. We're going to do a roll call vote. So our very first student advisory vote. So we will start with Trustee Lee.
I abstain.
Okay. Student Trustee Ruiz Martinez.
Abstain.
Trustee Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Longville.
Aye.
Trustee Reyes. Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Versell.
Aye.
And Chair votes aye.
As does Trustee Gonzalez.
And Trustee Gonzalez. Here, but you're not on my. I don't think I do this from memory or anything. I will add you to the list. Sorry. Okay. Well, we are off to a roaring start. Okay.
End of the year.
It's, you're not on the list on this page either, so let me add you. Okay. Next, we are on to presentations and celebrations. So we will look for the applause cards first.
Yay.
All right. Okay, so we are now on to our diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racist DEIA presentation. So I'll turn it over to the Chancellor to introduce this item.
Thank you. So what we have today in terms of a presentation is our annual presentation on our efforts within DEIA specific to human resources. And we also know that it is one of our goals to be a DEIA anti-racist institution. And our Vice Chancellor Hannon and her team have put together a very thorough presentation to address those issues and to also show where the district is indeed an anti-racist institution. So, Vice Chancellor Hannon.
Thank you. I've asked some members of our HR DEIA team to join me in the presentation. Okay. So, thank you to the Board of Trustees, the Chancellor, executive leadership, our dedicated faculty, classified professionals, managers, and especially our new student trustees. Welcome. For the members of the audience who may not know me, my name is Christina Hannon, and I am the Vice Chancellor of Human Resources, Payroll, and Police Services. I stand before you with a team of amazing individuals, and we would like to share the DEI last academic year. I would like to first thank Dr. John Stanskis, Dr. Christopher Crew, Dr. Aisha Brown, Officer James Quigley, and Executive Assistant Brooke Quiones for their tireless work on this presentation. But I would also like to recognize the other members of our HRDEIA group that are in the audience and watching from YouTube, which include our other quad chairs, Anna Borraquez, Dr. Anthony Blackshear, Dr. Delmy Spencer, Dr. Erica Paddock, Dr. Ray Carlos, Dean Carmen Rodriguez, Professor Ruth Gray Raven, classified professionals Mary Valdemar, Ginger Sutphin, our confidential group representative Heather Ford, Jesse Romero, Shalita Tillman, Mary Lawler, and other members of our HR team and many guests. We stand up here and represent the diversity our students are seeking when looking for a place to help them advance their career and educational goals. This group before you not only represents gender diversity, we also represent diversity of thought, diversity of position, experience, and classification. We represent what some universities, colleges, and K-12s throughout the country are fighting to eliminate in their curriculum. We represent police officers and people of color coming together for a common goal. We represent 2 campuses in 1 district striving for achievable, equitable outcomes for all students while centering the experiences of our most vulnerable population and looking for ways to improve those experiences. We also represent progress. Progress is defined as a forward or onward movement toward a destination. The progress we will show you today aligns with the board goals you have established, the educational master plans and strategic direction that guide us, and the state chancellor's vision for success. The destination is an educational institute that values diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism through targeted actions. In today's presentation, you will hear data regarding our actions, our student demographics, and our work. Is different than the training that you receive at board retreats, as that training is designed to educate and train you in the activities of your role. Today's presentation is intended to inform you of policies and practices that we need you to continue supporting us on. Today's presentation will show our efforts to diversify our workforce, show comparison data to our county and statewide, and also our applicant data. As we continue this in the State Chancellor's Office for our with the goal of tying this work directly to student success and outcomes, enrollment and access, and improving our systems district-wide. We invite you to ask questions at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, I am Dr. Aisha Brown. I'm the Director of DEI for the district, and I want to talk to you about the progress that we've made thus far. A lot of times when folks talk about DEI work, they compare it to running a marathon. I am here to contest that thought. What we're doing, the work that we're doing every single day, the folks here, the folks mentioned, the folks who are working without recognition, is never going to be done. We are only as good and as strong and as impressive of a district as the most disproportionately impacted amongst us, and that goes for our students and our employees. We know that we have a lot of work to do. Things that we've been working on extensively is increasingly diverse hiring pools. We want to be reflective of the community that we are fortunate to represent. We will be monitoring those hiring pools over the next couple years to make sure that we're constantly working toward that goal and that effort. We've done work in other areas, such as enhancing our curriculum in ethnic studies and social justice, examining our student outcomes regularly, and revising the program review process. English and math faculty have done some amazing work. There were classes that they taught so that they can analyze their outcomes in a way that is conducive to the goals of those areas and the district.
Good evening. Sorry. My name is James Quigley. I'm a police officer for the district and the representative for the Police Officers Association in the DIA committee. To continue promoting DEIA amongst the colleges, amongst all the different divisions, the DEIA committee consists of a representative from just about every reach, both campuses, from all of our represented communities, from the different associations, really from all over, just to get a good swath of everyone that is in our district. To best implement DEIA, first we need to amend our hiring process. We've done so already by adding DEIA questions to every hiring committee. In doing so, we're making sure that our new applicants coming in are focused toward DEIA in some respect, or at least are aware and have the mindset of maintaining good DEIA principles. Additionally, we work with a variety of different student groups, such as the African American community, celebrating African American Month, LGBTQ, AAPI, Hispanic Heritage, Native Americans, and all those different community groups to help kind of build the community together. Additionally, we partner with outside organizations such as the Community Action Partnership for Food Pantry, the Blue Foundation, as well as other tutors, leadership training, things like that, to also help promote DEIA. The CHC, Institutional Effectiveness Office, also has a more streamlined dashboard for departments to be able to incorporate all these other groups as well. So, thank you.
So like I said, that was not an exhaustive list. Those are just some shining examples of the things that are happening, what folks are doing, what folks have been working on. Some of the initiatives and things that are to come are the continuous strengthening of our HRDIA Advisory Committee. What's a little bit special, very, very special, about that committee is that we run on a consensus model. That means the folks that attend, they have a voice, they have a vote, not dependent on the rules of order to get things done. So we've been able to empower a lot of voices that we wouldn't normally hear in that space, and it's been an amazing experience. We are also, as we mentioned, implementing our adverse impact tool and revising our hiring process, which will be implemented by 2024. Our bias education and action team is going to be a group of folks who will help us forecast trends and drive the training and learning of the district. That will be online very shortly. Our DEIA Academy is on the way. That's being revamped. We're super excited about that and what that can do not only for the district, but for the region. And then, of course, always continuously examining our APs, BPs, and any other policies, procedures, cultures that are impacting our vision, our goals for the district, our mission.
All right, my name is Dr. Christopher Crew, and I'm going to now talk to you about a lot of data. So I put a second sheet in front of you that has a larger print than what you may see in the first book. So let's follow that along, because my pointer does not show up on this screen here. So we're just going to walk through some of the data that tells us about our workforce diversity. And yes, that one right there. Yep, there's a larger one. You'll be able to see the data a little bit better in that one. It'll be the second page in your packet. Click to that. Yep. All right. Thank you. I think we are.
Go ahead and continue.
All right, thank you. And so I'll open this up with a quick anecdote. I like to tell this story sometimes. When I completed my doctorate, I went to Columbia University, and when I completed my doctorate, I was told that they hadn't seen an African-American male in my department in 72 years. So I was the second to graduate from that department, but it had been 72 years. The first who did it was Kenneth Clark. He was the one who did the research that Thurgood Thomas used in the Civil Rights Act. So it was his graduate research. But I mentioned that not to in any way malign Columbia University, but to say that the type of work that we're hearing today that Dr. Brown has mentioned, that Vice Chancellor Hannon has mentioned, that's the way we move forward. And we'll see some of that progress showing forward in the data that we'll be talking about today. So if we start at the top left, we're going to go figure 1 to figure 2, and then we'll go across those 3 squares at the top and then 3 below that. So we're looking at our we are 40%. This was last year's data. I'm sorry, 2020 is our benchmark. We started in 2020 doing this type of data. It was 40% white. It was 36% Hispanic. It was 14% African American, and then we were 8% Asian. And so if we look today on the efforts that HR has been undergoing to better diversify our district, we're now at 37% white. We're at 38% Hispanic. Some Hispanics are now the majority of the employees here at our district. We have still 14% African American, and now we went up to 9% Asian American. So that 3% increase or change that we saw over the years went to a 1% increase in Asian Americans, and then a 2% increase in Hispanics. And so we move across the graphs at the top, and we talk specifically about how our district is made up as far as split across the 3 locations. 18% of our employees work at here at Central Services at DSO, District Support Operations. 27%, yes, are at Crafton Hills, and then we have 55% working at Valley College. And we have 759 full-time employees, and I'll make a mark for Trustee Houston. I'm going to come back to that point for you on that very first graph. Then the majority of our employees are female, 59%. If we talk about gender progress, I'm going to lift this here because I can't see that far. Females are the majority in all job classifications at the district except for management. But we've seen a 7% increase over the last 3 years in diversifying the gender breakdown amongst management. From fiscal year 21 to 23, females have been 59% of all the hires in the district, so that's 109 out of 186 hires. And this is the point I wanted to bring to Trustee Houston, because we had a conversation about this last year. I got it wrong, so I won't get it wrong this year. So so last year, so our force has grown. We've grown by 25%, but that's an asterisk on that. That's churn. So if we look at the number of employees we've hired over the last 3 years, 186, that's a 25% increase. However, because of churn, we've only actually hired 9 new employees over that time. So the increase is actually 1.2% or 9 employees. So I don't want to get called to the carpet again.
I remember now, because I was like, what did I say?
Yeah.
I don't know what I had for breakfast, so
yeah.
I'm very happy for the reminder.
Yeah. So in 2020, the majority of our employees were white. We pointed that out in the graph here, but now the majority are Hispanic at 38%. From fiscal year 21 to 23, 75% of our new hires have come from underrepresented groups. And the last point here, if we just look at our faculty breakdown, we have 34% of our employees are from the faculty ranks full-time, 52% classified, and 14% are coming from administration.
Chancellor Rodriguez, Board Chair Houston, members of the Board of Trustees. My name is John Stanskis. I am the Dean of Science at San Bernardino Valley College for you. I really appreciate the effort that Boards of Trustees are using to really evaluate how we are doing as a district in terms of our DEIA goals. And particularly, I want to highlight this picture over the last 2 years that you have hired in the science division. That's a pretty powerful picture when at statewide conversations in 2018, people said there are no people in science of color. So I just wanted to take a moment and appreciate that this is the work this district is doing here, and to feel some accomplishment about that. You can go back to the regular slide. Diversification of the faculty, the people who are in front of our students in a classroom, in a laboratory, in a counseling educational appointment, in the library, is a cornerstone of our statewide and local DEIA work. It is a significant conversation and initiative of the Board of Governors and the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges, and that has become, as I return to this institution, gratifying to see how that has become part of who we are in terms of our goals moving forward also. It is difficult to make significant change in the faculty ranks because there is not as much churn as we have in many other classifications. And so being able to see movement in these numbers over such a short period of time illustrated by that photograph is impressive, that we've been able to do that. Our research and data tell us that the impact of a diversified faculty is significant in closing the equity gaps we see in our students. And that research tells us it's not about which faculty member and which student are paired. It's the basis of culture changes, the basis of dialogue about service to students changes as the faculty are diversified. And also, our students need to see that somewhere in the ranks of the faculty they can see themselves. And that is powerful. So we can see how we have done in terms of faculty diversity compared to the Chancellor's Office in fall of 22. We are across the board doing much better than the state overall. And you can see that we are making incremental progress in diversifying the ranks of the faculty. Thank you.
We're going to wait till the end for the questions. So write it down.
So then I'll talk briefly to you about our diversity statistics amongst our students. And then that's going to, first graph on the left is going to compare our students to the district, to the state chancellor, our statewide system, sorry. We can see that we are at 9% African American in our district. That's 5% for the entire community college system. We are 5% Asian, but the state is 14%. Hispanics, we are 64%. For the state, it's 47%. For white, we are 17%. Again, we're talking students. 24% for the state, and then 5% unknown. So if we can do a comparison that looks at comparing our staff now to our county and to the state, we see that as far as African Americans, for 14% here, is 9% for the county, 6% for the state. For Asians, we are 9%, 9% also for the county, 12% for the statewide system. 38%, we're talking staff here at our district. There's 56% in the county and 24% for the state. And then we'll just click these two really quick. We have, for whites, 37% in our district. We are 25% in the county, 47% for the state, and then we have the unknown category there. So we're doing pretty well as far as our comparison to our county and to our state as far as diversifying the staff and the students.
So really briefly, I just want to talk about the process that we have implemented through the work of Dr. Christopher Crew and his team and the Human Resources team in being able to analyze our applicant data. What we are using is called the Adverse Impact Toolkit. And so at every stage of the recruitment, we are able to pause and run a statistical analysis of our applicants in comparison to those that meet the minimum qualifiers, those that continue to progress. And so we've been using this tool in human resources in order to pause a recruitment and make changes if we see that there has been an unintended barrier in some of our underrepresented groups. And so this is a combination of the last 3 years of applicant data, and I will ask Dr. Crew to explain this data as it's presented here.
So I'm sorry my back is to some of you, but maybe I can look over this way and look at you. So in this analysis, what we've decided to do is show you a display of how the analysis breaks down. So the first column, you see total number of last 5 years, 6,054 applications that HR has reviewed. The number of qualified applicants was 3,770. And the number of interviewed was 2,412 for a total of 186 new employees that were hired over this time. And what Vice Chancellor Hannon was referring to is how do we understand how well we're doing as far as bias. And this set of analysis allows us to look at each step of the process and ask the question, is there anything that has played out in this process that may be given on for advantage? Maybe we missed something, maybe there's a bias in the hiring process, or how are we selecting applicants, or even how we're hiring them. And so we submit this to a statistical analysis that allows us to do that. And what we're looking at is percentages. And we ask the question, if we look here on the first one that I've put on the screen, the total number of applicants were 52% female. So we move down the various steps of the hiring process. We see that females are 51% of qualified applicants, 50% of interviewed, and then 59% of those who were hired. And so we ask whether or not that was due. We submit that to analysis at each step, which allows us to pause if something comes up. And it could be that there's a bias, but it could be that just what it is in the process. And we review, our HR, not we, I'm not doing their work, but they're reviewing the process and asking, did we have anything that may have contributed to this number? And it may just have been that that was the most qualified applicants that went forward. And I'm happy to say, as I've been watching the data, I'll put the rest of them up there. If we start here with Asian Americans, we're 9% of the total applicants. They were 7% of those who were hired. African Americans were 16% of the total applicants, 15% of those who were hired. Hispanics were 41% of the applicants, 49% of those who were hired. Whites were 24 and 25. But if you see that, we're very, very spot on to representing the hiring pool versus those who are actually applying for the jobs. And so there's a lot of, I would say HR has done a great job of training us on the EEO diversity. I've done it myself. That allows us to check our biases, and it seems like it's reflecting very well in how the process is playing out in terms of who gets hired. We'll continue to scale this up and do these kind of analysis and try and automate them as we move forward. And I just wanted to thank Vice Chancellor Hannon for giving me an opportunity to try and develop methodology around answering these type of questions.
We now open it up for questions.
So yes.
My question was, and the faculty, what's not included, these are only full-time faculty. So our pool of adjunct is not here, and they represent a large portion of the classes that we teach. So I was just wondering if we had any data on the adjunct faculty. Now, I realize that adjunct faculty may change from year to year, sometimes from semester to semester, but there is a pool of adjunct that we have hired for many, many years. And so I wondered where we were in that process.
So
I realize that I'm dating myself, but I received my first adjunct job at San Bernardino Valley College, and I was part of maybe 10 female adjunct faculty. All the faculty was mostly male, and most of the female faculty were over 50. So it was different on the campus. So, but I was wondering what the process was now for being hired as adjunct. For me, I was taken out to lunch and interviewed, and I got the job. But that's not the way it functions now. So I'm curious, when we look at the faculty, whether we're including the data on adjunct.
So we do have data on, and we can provide that to the board. For the purposes of this presentation, we did focus on our full-time. One of the trends that we have seen in our district, and this is duplicated statewide, is that our adjunct faculty does tend to be a little bit more diverse than our full-time faculty. However, we are working through revising our practices so that way we can make sure that the hiring process for our part-time faculty is reflective of the same strenuous hiring process as our full-time. Recommendations and engagement from the campuses, including the department chairs, academic senate, hiring managers, but we are looking at working on a better way of having adjunct pools and bringing those into full-time service as positions become available.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Yes.
Trustee Rose?
No questions, just a comment, and for us to consider doing some good things. Thank you so much. This is really important for us. but I want to add something to how are we going to, federal level, they're doing the same thing. At the federal level, they're actually attempting to create an opportunity for Hispanic serving institutions, historically black colleges, in terms of funding. There is a program called, or executive order that President Biden has submitted to each of the federal agencies. This is where I think we need to take advantage. There's monies available, over several billions of dollars for underserved communities, and we are considering, have to do directly with you, because I think you're already doing a very good job in terms of the faculty and all that. But for us as institutions, and I share this with our board members and our attorney, that we have a golden opportunity to get 40% of whatever the federal agency's profit is, and we're looking at that. We have HACU is doing a survey, and they're going to come out with the results. This is where I think they can really help us out a lot in terms of applying for grants. There's $2 billion on. I'm very vocal about that at the federal level, and I want my colleagues to be part of that, because we can get part of that money that would help do what you're attempting to do. Each of the federal agencies is mandated, but no one's really paying attention. That's why we really need an organization such as HACU to advocate on our behalf. We have a chance to go over there. So I compliment you on this. This is very good. This is at our level. But for me, I want to be able to get resources so that you're able to do that. Without the resources, no. The money is there. We just have to go and make sure that we're part of this program that Mr. Biden is going to be asking each of the federal agencies about a report card. I'm totally committed to that. I'm willing to go to Washington. We've done this before. I've been part of this association. And unless we respond to this in a very assertive way, nothing is going to happen.
Thank you. We'll go to Trustee Longville.
There we go. I think I have it on now. Is it on?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know that we look at these things, and it's easy to kind of get your eyes glossed over as you're looking at just statistics. And but this is these kinds of measures have a real impact on people's lives that are far greater than we sometimes realize. And I'm not an expert on it by any means, but I just watched a program about the difference in the students. It was a study that was done where they had African-American male students, African-American male teachers, rather, at the elementary school level. I think it may have been the very earliest grades. And the fascinating thing was that following the students who had been in these classes, who had had African-American male teachers, there were some amazing statistics that followed them throughout their lives. And they were able to show the impacts on all of the students. There were impacts on the white students, on Hispanics, on all of the students, but particularly on African-American male students. The impact was absolutely extraordinary. We're talking about numbers of likelihood of ever graduating from college. I mean, just orders of magnitude of difference. Likelihood of ever being arrested, of making a substantial income, just all kinds of, and these are the kinds of impacts that we're seeing. Now, I don't know what the statistics are as far as the direct impact of these programs that we're engaged in, but I look at those stats and I say, I know behind that are people's lives that are being dramatically improved. I want to thank all the folks who are working on it.
Thank you. Trustee Williams?
First, Chancellor and Vice Chancellor Hannon, I just want to commend you all just for the work. I remember like when you first started making presentations to us, I could see the growth in the analysis. And Trustee Harrison has always, she's been saying for a long time, we got to get better at being able to analyze our information and synthesize. And I think, you all have done a great job at doing that. I serve on the CCLC DIA committee, and so it's just trustees from throughout the state. If you could consider please helping, because there's so many districts that are not as far along as we are with this, and they're really trying to get best practices and get trustees and CEOs to understand. Some of the rural communities, they're like, look, we're not doing none of this. We're in a rural community and it's just the way that it is, and that's just their whole MO. And so the capacity building and the elephant that to me in the room when we talk about diversifying faculty is that we're not adding seats or we're not adding FTS and people are not leaving the jobs. And so I think one of the solutions is unrestricted local revenue, because when you can write your own checks, you can do, if we're dependent on the state, we can't add faculty. And so we got to really figure out how to make our own money, keep getting the state money, but we need local revenues. And that's how you get at diversifying, because if we're locked into it's going to be this slow grind and it's 15 years. Y'all been here 10 years and we've been talking about this. And so we got to move a little faster. We need our own money. And so please think about that. I think in the presentation too, it would be great to also, because classified staff have an impact on student success, and to really know what the demographics looks like. And then also our managers have a great say in our regulations and our policies. So it would be helpful to see that. And the advisor has really been pressing me about the Fire Academy and how do we get more people of color teaching in that program, because the belief is that that will help more students go into that program. So I'm personally really interested in looking at, well, what's the makeup of, and then why aren't people of color getting into those adjunct positions or the full-time teaching positions in the Fire Academy? Because, when you look at the pay of the jobs, that really has an impact in the community that, like, I represent. When, a person can get one of those $150,000 jobs plus all of that overtime that they get. And so the belief is that, well, if there are faculty there that look like them, that means we'll get more. And I know we are growing in that area, but I would be interested. And just, great job, and thank you for the information. Oh, it'd be really helpful if y'all put y'all names on your presentations, because we don't see y'all all the time, and so we only, so it'd be great so that we can refer to you, by name, because, we meet a lot of people in this, but on the presentation.
Okay. Any other questions? So I just have a question. When you talked about the pause in the processes to, reflect and make changes, in those pauses, were you able to identify any bias in minimum qualifications, and have you been able to make any adjustments there?
Yes, so we have been able to pause. We know that for our academic positions, the state does set those MQs. So those are not fluid. We have to abide by those, but we have the autonomy of adding in desired qualifiers. So when we pause, we're able to pause and say, hey, is this desired qualifier a real measure of success? And we have to be able to statistically defend it. And so that pause includes going back to the hiring manager or to the committee and saying, this may have created an arbitrary barrier, and we have an obligation of removing that barrier that we created ourselves. In our classified and management ranks, we are able to, at the local level, control the minimum qualifiers. And so with our classification study that we recently completed for both our management and our classified, we built in equivalency language, meaning you have a degree, however, this many years of replace having that degree with this many units. That is a barrier. Sometimes having a high level of experience or education, and if it can't be tied to the actual success in position, is considered an arbitrary barrier. So we built in equivalency language in all of our classified ranks as we saw fit to do so. And so the pause allows us to say, is the equivalency language, is it benefiting us, or are we still upholding a barrier that we've created ourselves? And so Crafton Hills has been really good about allowing us to pause, and they were one of the first that allowed us to pause with a faculty recruitment, and we were able to successfully move forward because we took the time to not just rush through and fill the seat, but to examine our process and say, what did we do, and could we have removed a barrier that we created ourselves? And so we have seen success in it, and we're just going to use it more regularly and more effectively with the tools built in.
It seems that that would be the information that you would want to take to the state level, so that we can begin at that level to address that minimum of qualification door closer.
Correct.
That is so pervasive. Yep.
Take a look at opportunities at work. They have the Tear the Paper Ceiling campaign, and this the STARS program is, I forget exactly what it stands for, but it's all about people who have taken alternative routes to careers, and they're asking companies basically to rip up the bachelor's degree requirements. But they have a lot of good research on their website that's related to what you were just talking about. And so it's called Opportunities at Work.
If I can say, okay, so I'm not calling anybody on the carpet, but I'm pretty sure that the header at the top, it only identifies 3 years, and it's a 5-year period from 2018. So I'm not calling anybody on the carpet. I'm just saying that I noticed it was only 3 years in the header, and it's 5 years worth of data. And I am not a detailed person. There are plenty of people that can validate. I am not the person that's in the details, but okay. And I thank you for the presentation as well.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Right, we are going to move now to our action agenda, and the first thing on our action agenda is approval of our fiscal year 23-24 tentative budget. And so I'll look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
I do have a couple questions.
Trustee Williams?
Y'all, I had a couple of emergencies, so I missed a couple of meetings, so please bear with me. I wanted to just ask about the how much is allocated in our budget for things like the greening and cleaning of facilities, landscaping, and taking care of the facilities. Books Plus. Yeah, Books Plus. And if I'm willing to approve this, and you can give me the information later if you don't have it today. And then also, what are we spending on enrollment management systems? Like, how much does the tech students interface with? How much does that cost us? How much is allocated for that? That's the 3 areas that I'd be interested in just getting more information about.
Trustee Williams, we'd be happy to get that itemized for you and send it forward to you. And we will also be sure to copy the other board members as well.
Thank you
for that information. Thank you.
Question? Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're approving the tentative budget. Change along the way, and there's some initiatives in Sacramento, especially coming from the governor's office, that we talked about at the Finance Committee meeting, that may change where money that was allocated to us may be taken back. So this is strictly the tentative budget. I don't even understand, when do you think, Vice Chancellor Torres, we might get a final budget?
Tentatively, the Assembly and the Senate are going to release their budget on June 15, and with the expectation that the governor approves it a couple weeks after that.
So by the end of...
By the end of June.
By the end of June
That is
or
correct.
early part of July?
Yes. Our intent is hopefully to have the most information possible for the board retreat, so that we can give you that information as well during the budget presentation.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, we will call a roll call vote. So student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez,
Abstain.
trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Veersel,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. So we have a tentative budget. We can pay the bills. Right? Okay. So next we're going to our board policy and ad hoc committee members through 12/31/23. So before I call for the motion, I will open the floor for volunteers or nominations of up to 3 trustees to serve on this committee. So this is a committee to start to take a look at the board policies.
I'll nominate trustee Gonzalez, the chair.
I'll second that.
Well, so we have one. We can have up to 3.
Well, okay, I was nominating him the chair of the committee.
Okay, chair, we like that.
And I'll help you, like, if you don't have any other folks. Yeah.
There's 2.
There's
And
2.
I'll nominate trustee Williams to serve on the committee.
Okay, look
I'll
at that. Okay. We can go with 2. I think two. All right. So there we have it. So we have trustee Gonzalez and trustee Williams, and they will phone some friends who will serve on an ad hoc committee through the end of this calendar year to start to take a look at the board policies and procedures. And it's not unrelated to the presentation that we just got, so that we are supportive of really those goals and priorities that we have as. With that, the motion then, so now we have some nominees, so here would be the motion. We're going to be looking for a motion to approve trustee Gonzalez to chair and trustee Williams to be a member of this ad hoc committee. Okay, Longville.
Second.
And second by trustee Veersel. All right. With that, any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll call then our roll call vote. Student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville, trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Veersel,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Congratulations. That's an honor.
You did a great job.
Why do I hear sarcasm?
What? Me? Never. Okay, moving on. We are now on the 2024-2025 Affordable Student Housing Construction Grant application for Crafton Hills College.
So moved.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, we will do our roll call vote. Student trustee Lee.
Aye.
Student trustee Ruiz Martinez.
Aye.
I was going to say student trustee. Trustee Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Longville.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Aye.
Trustee Reyes.
Aye.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Veersel.
Aye.
And chair votes aye, and so ordered. On to item D, which is we're going to be opening a hearing for public comment pursuant to Government Code 3547. So I'm opening the hearing on the initial proposals to negotiate the 2023-2026 successor contract between SBCCD and the San Bernardino Community College District as attached. Do we have any comments from the public? Oh, we're opening. Any comments from the public? Hearing none. We have now conducted a public hearing pursuant to Government Code 3547. Okay, that's different than what's on my sheet. But
We don't need to, that's fine.
so I think what the motion that we're looking for now is to acknowledge these proposals and parties commence negotiations.
Madam Chair, that's correct.
Okay, So that's the motion we're looking for.
So
To-
moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second on that. Now, any discussion on the proposals and the parties commencing negotiations? Hearing none. Then we will now move to the roll call vote. So student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz, trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Virsel,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. So we are now on to board policies. 3,300 public records, 6535 use of district equipment, and 6540 insurance. I will look for a motion to approve the board policies for second reading and final approval.
So moved.
A motion, and we have a second by trustee Harrison. Any discussion? Hearing none. On to our roll call vote. Student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Virsel.
Aye.
We are now on to adopting resolution number 2023-0608FS01 regarding the expenditure of Prop 30 Education Protection Act funds. This is looking for a motion to adopt the resolution as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Sorry. Yours. Hearing none. We will call for the vote. Student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Virsel,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Okay, now we're moving on to the 2023-2028 Crafton Hills College Education Master Plan. So I will look for a motion to
So
approve.
moved.
A motion from trustee Harrison. Do we have a second?
Second in discussion.
Second from trustee Williams, and discussion.
It's a lot to digest. It's a lot in here. And, I'm really interested on both of the plans to have a future conversation about where we're at with guided pathways and, where are we in terms of implementation, what it looks like in terms of fully implementing the full pillars, and specifically like the cross-college interactions for students. I know we're working on the single enrollment management system. I'd like to be able to get a future conversation going about it.
Duly noted. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll call for the question, or call for the roll call. So, student trustee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez, Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Virsel,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. On to approval of the 2023-2028 San Bernardino Valley College Education Master Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Virsel,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. On to 2023-2028 DSO Plan, final copy as revised and properly published. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second from Dr. Virsel. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to the roll call vote. Student trustee Lee,
Aye.
student trustee Ruiz Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Harrison,
Aye.
trustee Longville,
Aye.
trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
trustee Reyes,
Aye.
trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Virsel,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. So ordered. We are now on to our consent agenda. So the consent agenda is expected to be routine and non-controversial. It'll be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or citizen may request that an item may be removed from this section for discussion. Do we have any items to be removed from consent? Okay, with that, we will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second, Longville.
We have a motion and a second. Okay, roll call vote. Student trustee Lee.
Aye.
Student trustee Ruiz Martinez.
Abstain.
Trustee Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Longville.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Aye.
Trustee Reyes.
Aye.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Veersal.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. At this,
Chair? If I may, real quick.
yes.
First, I would like to quickly commend Interim Dean Brandy Bayless for her service at Crafton Hills College, but also to recognize the appointment of a former colleague of mine from A.K. Smiley Public Library, Dr. Jeff Smith, who will be taking up the role of dean at Crafton Hills College. And he and I worked on our PhDs together in history at UC Riverside, so it's great to have him back in Southern California.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, we are now on to board committee and activity reports. So Board Finance Committee.
Thank you. All right. We had a very information-packed meeting today. The first thing that we discussed was about the PARS Pension Rate Stabilization Program. And we had a whole review of our accounts. The investment continues to be an ongoing source of revenue. So as of the end of April, the trust has generated approximately $16.5 million in gains, and that is the net of expenses. And the staff is recommending no changes in the current conservative investment strategy for the funds. We also talked about the state budget, as Trustee Harrison mentioned. Of particular concern, of course, is the government already received in the 2022 to 2023 year. And the takebacks, if realized, would amount to a reduction of the district's budget of approximately $6 million from the Deferred Maintenance Fund and about $4 million from the COVID-19 relief budget. And of course, the district is vigorously advocating for the rejection of both actions. And it's hoped by the time the final budget is adopted in September, those actions will have been removed. And we had an update on enrollment. So district-wide, we're at 99% of the 12,939 full-time equivalent students target for this academic year. And the full board will be receiving an in-depth report at our upcoming retreat. And that concludes my report.
I'm sorry. Legislative committee was canceled?
Yeah, but
Correct.
I do have
Okay.
a report.
You do not have a report?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, just information in regards to, I want to first of all compliment our Chancellor and Vice Chancellor Rodriguez for putting on a historical event that we had in regards to placement of the pole, which was well attended. Those are the things that really bring our community together and see what we're doing for the next 100 years in terms of workforce development. And the community really appreciated that. And that means that they're going to be able to, when we're talking about increase in terms of enrollment, they can see the great programs that we have for our students. Very well attended, very well accepted. We had some individuals that could possibly help us in regards to not just come and shake our hands, but request for them to help us with the finance, whether it be on the Board of Supervisors or the State Senate or the Assembly. So thank you again, Chancellor Rodriguez and the staff. It was very well done. I do have a concern in regards to if I was in Sacramento last week, and I knew that certain things were going to happen in regards to impacting our students on the book finance or the donations, and then also the what is it, not following up on the maintenance, or what do you call it, Jose?
Deferred maintenance.
Deferred maintenance. I suggest that we, I know that there's groups of people that are going over there, may want to go there. I don't know if you would recommend Vice Chancellor Rodriguez Torres for us to unify and go over there and be one of the leaders. If you want us to do that, I think we should do that. We don't wait for people to do it. We can do it if you feel that it's really important. I would recommend, I'm a little bit, that's extra work for my wife, but if we need to do that, the chancellor for the UCR does that all the time. They go up there, if there's a concern, they go over there and they advocate for whatever.
Sounds like that might be a great topic for the next
Well,
committee
I'm
meeting,
just-
and
let
then
me
the
finish.
recommendation
Let me-
could come from the
let me
committee.
just finish, yeah. So anyway, that's what we want, because we're going to be out of time. So that's what I'm saying. Think about it. Just a recommendation that if you want to do that, that's really important, because we can't be waiting for later on if the governor is going to decide. Well, then people are putting pressure on the elected officials. So timing is really important, Stephanie, very important. So anyway, I just want to make sure that we understand that that's really important from a legislative perspective.
All right, thank you for that. And this seems like an appropriate time, because we're doing our board committee and activity reports, to recognize, we have a guest with us this evening. Dr. Judy White is here, and it's always just makes my heart happy whenever I'm in the same room with Dr. White. So I just wanted to recognize you for being here today, and thank you for joining us. So, retired Superintendent of Riverside County Office of Education. Again, thank you for being here. With that, we're going to go to our Board of Governors report. Any report?
I'll yield.
Okay, no report. Anything from our Women's Caucus?
No report.
And no report from our Joint Powers Authority. We'll go to our Chancellor's report.
Thank you. And I do have a report. So first, I'd like to congratulate AALR, our attorneys, for being named one of the nation's top 200 law firms. So, Bill, congratulations. If you can send our regards to the firm, we do appreciate all of the work that they do for us. And congratulate everyone on completing yet another successful academic year. We have accomplished so much together, and you all should be very proud and also a little tired. A lot happening. We just most recently, we had the groundbreaking at Crafton Hills College for their Performing Arts Center. Just a phenomenal event, well attended. This morning, as mentioned, we had the top for the Applied Technologies building at San Bernardino Valley College. Again, very well attended, and thank you all for joining us for that. You know, both of these events and both of these buildings are because of our community, right? The voters of Measure CC believed in us, believed in our students, believed that we were worthy of the investment. So just a public thank you to all of the voters of Measure CC. Other things that you don't hear a lot about, but I consider great successes that we've had this year, and there's list and list of them, but just to mention a few. We talked about guided pathways and the mapping, and Trustee Williams just brought that up. We have successfully fully mapped 312 programs, areas of studies, and aligned them with our guided pathways, a huge accomplishment for our faculty and support staff. And we have completed the single application process for our district. So very proud of that accomplishment. It took us a few years, but we figured it out, and we've had some successes with that. We also had over 200 employees that have gone through our new EEO training, and you saw the results of that in the presentation just given. Also, both of our colleges have completed their EMPs, and we have completed the DSO plan, and all of that geared around the goals that this board took time to put into place early in the year. So you will see that, I think in the first time in the history of the district, the EMPs and the DSO's planning documents are all in alignment with the same goals, and hopefully moving in. We'll see. You know, last year in this district, you know, we talked about, Trustee Williams again talked about securing dollars from outside of the state allocation. Last year, we secured just over $17 million last year. This year, we more than tripled that number. We have secured over $55 million, and that is a huge accomplishment. And to all of you that had a hand in reading grant documents, crunching numbers, developing data, and so on, I owe you a big debt of gratitude, because that was huge work. To triple that is huge. Congratulations. And, you know, in speaking with like family and friends and all that, and they see my intensity when I talk about some of the things we're doing, I see some of you smiling and laughing at me out there. I see that. You know, and they ask sometimes, you know, why do you do this? You know, why do you do this, and is it worth it? You know, I hope I speak for all of us when I say it is absolutely worth it. Absolutely. In fact, I want to show this video that's going to highlight over 2,500 reasons as to why we do what we do. So, Roger, if you could help us out with the video, that would be great. We need it louder to feel the impact. Over kids, you know, these are our future professionals, leaders, et cetera, throughout our community. And I just can't wait to see how they impact the community. And that is my report.
Thank you for that. I rushed in here late because I was at a graduation. I have my official graduation shoes on, which are my J's. But they do have a little bit of brick dust on them still from the ball field, so brought back.
We'll take care of that.
I'll have to clean them. Anyway. The next reports of our represented groups. So do we have San Bernardino Valley College Academic Senate with us tonight?
They are not here.
Okay. San Bernardino Valley College Classified Senate.
No report.
Okay. San Bernardino Valley College Associated Students. There she is.
Mm-hmm.
I probably walked right past you too.
For San Bernardino Valley College. This past month, ASG held elections, and we did notice an increase in student engagement and participation. We had a lot more votes this year compared to last year, so that's definitely good. In addition, Diami Ruiz Martinez was elected as student trustee, and I was reelected as student body president. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Crafton Hills College Academic Senate? Okay, Crafton Hills College Classified Senate?
No report.
Crafton Hills College Associated Students?
No report.
CSEA?
This is all new to me. This all looks really cool. It's nice to be able to see everybody. That is nice. Okay, you just started my timer. Okay, so good evening, members of the Board of Trustees and district leadership. Excuse me, I did not have lunch today, unfortunately, so I'm a little off, so I appreciate your patience. I want to start my report by emphasizing CSEA's report for CTA and its fight for benefits for part-time faculty, which I understand is reimbursable by the state. Important issues facing our brothers and sisters in CTA. We look forward to hearing reports on the progress of their issues. Today I had 3 issues to discuss with you. I talked to the Chancellor about them. However, after a meeting this afternoon with district leadership, we were able to make progress on 2 of them, and I hope to report at the July board meeting a positive outcome for our members and the institution. My main concern today is the state of our remote work schedule, MOU. To give you a background, on September 20th of last year, the district and CSE agreed to an MOU to allow for remote work for classified staff, extending remote work past our health emergency to allow for more flexibility in staffing. The agreement was a result of months of research involving the creation of a task force of classified who explored all the possible outcomes of such an agreement. Because classified are so varied in our duties, work locations, and interaction with the public, we felt it was important to gather voices from those who are not suitable for remote work, as well as those who created was thoughtfully drafted and applied appropriately. When we began negotiating, CSEA presented an MOU that would hopefully mitigate the issues we predicted, but through negotiations, the MOU is pared down to the current document with the understanding that management will take responsibility for assessing their areas for remote work feasibility, so on a case-by-case basis and an area-by-area basis. We knew this could create problems and specifically discussed these issues with the district. Any issues they have with the RWS to us, so we could talk about it as we negotiate a possible extension of the MOU. Unfortunately, the first time we knew anything about the issues with the MOU was when we were told that the district was not interested in extending it, and that's on May 16th. We were offered 2 examples where managers had to step in and do classified work because they had staffing issues and the reason for not extending the MOU. Fortunately, the solutions are already in the current MOU. Managers have the right to deny any work remote schedule if it's not suitable for the area. They also have the right to call an RWS employee back into the office temporarily to account for temporary staffing issues, or if an in-person meeting is scheduled with a day, or for an in-person meeting, all they have to do is give them 1 day's notice by the end of the previous day. Just a little notice.
Your turn is complete.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys didn't run those for everybody. Me finishing my report. Let me see. So the managers, what they need to do is just call that person in the day before if they need that person to be there. And if staffing levels change permanently, the manager has a right to rescind the RWS with 14 days notice. It has everything you need, the manager needs to manage a remote work schedule in their area and the power to. Our understanding, most managers exercise this power while some did not and ended up having problems in their areas. I ask yourself to ask why we are throwing out the baby with the bathwater. In areas where this is working well, we are going to take away a tool that has improved student success, increased the morale of our current staff, and attracted candidates who are considering joining our team. Not only would this directly affect those who are utilizing a remote work schedule, it speaks very loudly to classified staff that we are second-class citizens of this. And that's because we would be the only group that didn't have the option. please reconsider your desire to end the RWS for classified staff and bring your concerns to the negotiations table so together we can find a way to make this work for everyone. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next up would be CTA.
I'm back. All right. See, I had to butter you. Okay, so I'm Devin. Mind. I'm the part-time faculty representative for Valley College. I said I was the head softball coach. I'm also the adjunct professor or instructor for kinesiology. We, as a faculty union, support the CSE union and their issues and are working with them to assure that they are respected. Sorry, it's been a nervous day. SBCCDTA urges the board to direct their managers to respect the faculty's concerns that we are currently trying to address. And then just a reminder that there are 2 issues headed to arbitration on July 1st, and we hope that we can avert those if possible.
Thank you. And I believe we have no report from our Police Officers Association. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay. So we'll move on to staff reports at this time. Valley College President.
Thank you very much and good evening. I come to you this evening with just lots of gratitude. This morning when we were able to put our names on the beam, that experience became really real. That our names would be on that building forever. And I think it just hit a lot of people's hearts when that happened. They said they had never experienced that. So thank you for all you did to make that possible. Thank the staff, faculty, and students at Valley College for that. And it was just a great celebration this morning. Also, I was not able to join my campus for graduation. And thank you for allowing me to be away. But there were almost hundreds of people who made that graduation possible. And Dr. Thayer and Dr. Carlos sent me a report that I submitted to the chancellors had taken place as far as all of the committee work, the expenses that went into it, the coordination, and the many, many staff and faculty from different departments across the campus who came to make that a very successful event. And of course, that's the event we all wait for every year. That culminates our work, seeing those students walk across the stage and being able to look out and see the faces of the family. So gratitude and thank you for all of that. And I also want to thank the San Bernardino Symphony for wanting to partner with Valley College this year to bring the concert to the college again on the 1st. There will be a lot of people there. We have assured the symphony that we're working hard on our part to make it even better than next year. We have about 13 to 15 vendor trucks lined up and other vendors who will be there to support family. I've asked staff and faculty to come out and be present to share information about the college, and hopefully we're going to be able to capture potential students and give lots of information to the families about the college. So that's all I have this evening. Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Thank you. Next up is Crafton Hills College President.
Hi, good evening. I just have a few items for you. I want to congratulate our 2 student trustees, Michelle and Diami, and they're looking forward to working with you this year. I also want to congratulate our director of was selected and given a Changemaker Award by Laserfish for the work that they've done to simplify some of our forums using their platform for students in the application process for a variety of different platforms. He's done a great job through that implementation, and he was recognized at a conference earlier last week. Also to thank each of you that were able to attend the groundbreaking ceremony for our new Performing Arts Center. And at that ceremony, one of the things that I was able to unveil, and I'm asking you to approve at next month's board meeting, will be the naming of the music lab in the Performing Arts Center after Elaine S. Rosen. Elaine has been a longtime friend of the college. She has bequested to us, the second largest individual gift in the college's history of $500,000 to endow a fund for performing arts students that will support their programming efforts within the building. And so that you'll be seeing that next month. We're very excited about and being able to recognize her soon in person. She was unfortunately ill and wasn't able to attend the ceremony that day. And just lastly, we are celebrating our classified professionals this week. It's Classified Professionals Week. And on Thursday at Crafton Hills College, the management team is hosting a barbecue for our classified staff. If you happen to be around between 12 and 2, come by Crafton Hall. We're going to be out there playing games and serving up food and just kind of celebrating our staff throughout the day. And that's it.
Thank you. Executive Vice Chancellor.
I'm going to ask Executive Director Connie Leva to come to the podium, please, if you don't mind. Just quick update on how we're doing on achieving the implementation of the board-approved KVCR Inspiring Possibilities Plan. And Executive Director Connie Leva will give you a little quick update on that.
Thank you very much, Executive Vice Chancellor. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, trustees, it is great to be here on behalf of KVCR. My challenge is always, what am I going to tell you? Because we have a lot going on. The first thing I think I would like to do is add my thanks and gratitude for the topping ceremony today. That was fantastic. For anyone who wasn't there, make sure you go by and you will be so impressed with the building and what has been done. It is going to be a magnificent place for our students. Also, thank you very much, Dr. Haran, for the great groundbreaking for your new Performing Arts Center. That was really also a very nice event as well. KVCR likes to cover these things, but I'll tell you, I just like enjoy going as well to see what's happening around SBCCD. We had the pleasure at KVCR of covering both graduations. Thank you very much, and I want to do a big shout out to my team who did a really terrific job. They were at one location and then rushed to the next location, and I want to thank the Chancellor for the shout out to the team. They all heard it and they all appreciated it, so thank you very much. Okay, we continue to have lots and lots of tours through KVCR. Probably the ones I enjoy the most are the ones with the couple weeks ago. We have another one coming in next week. I don't know who enjoys it more, the kids, us, or the parents. It's really great to see the kids get to use some of the tools. And when we have the green screen set up for Learn With Me, we put them on there, we let them do some things, and then we show them how we add the animation in the back. So hopefully we are spurring on our next generation. KVCR was out in Riverside not too long ago, a group of us, and we were with a woman by the name of Kay at Tinker the Robot. She is involved in STEAM. She is worried that young women aren't getting enough access to STEAM, so she started this project. We went, everyone is invited, and we built bridges. And Ben Holland on our team, his bridge was almost the #1 bridge, but it did fall. And Manny Saucedo was one of the judges. We are going to be working with them to create some interstitials during our children's channel. So that will be very fun. I'm just checking my time. Oh, shoot, I'm done. Okay, we're working on Inland Edition, Native starting filming next week. We received a grant and we have a new reporter that will be starting with us in September, and we made one of our part-time news reporters full-time, so we're going to have something called a newsroom at KVCR. And the reason that's exciting and important is because we want to report on what's happening in the Inland Empire. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is Vice Chancellor of Human Resources and Police Services.
Hi, I just wanted to offer some clarifying points. So I just wanted to reiterate that the district has always operated in good faith and brings data and facts to the table. The district does have a website where we do have our proposals in an effort to be transparent. And so if you view our bargaining page, you will see that we have submitted efforts to finalize benefits for our part-time and our full-time employees and bring some closures to some of the outstanding issues at the table. We are still having discussions with our academic senates to understand their processes in order to negotiate language that honors the autonomy of the senates and continues to keep workload and working conditions under the purview of CTA. And for our classified professionals, we are still negotiating during the summer, and we recently received their sunshine articles for the unit. The district will always respect the unit's right to negotiate in good faith, and we hope the unit continues to respect the district's right to negotiate items that would be financial cost to the district. My last thing is I would like to congratulate Officer James Quigley on being recognized as the College Police Officer, SBCCD Police Officer of the Year for our district. Congratulations, Officer Quigley. That is my report.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor of Education Student Support Services.
No update.
Okay, next, we have our information items. So I'll ask, are there any questions or anything in the information items section that you'd like to discuss? Okay, hearing none. We are going to go into our closed session where we have conference with labor negotiators, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, non-reemployment, conference with legal counsel regarding anticipated litigation, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation, and public employee performance evaluation for the chancellor. So do we have any public comments for closed session? Okay, the time is, I don't know, 5:37, and we will convene into closed session. Okay. The Board of Trustees convened in closed session to consider the termination for convenience of Sund Construction from the San Bernardino Valley College Career Pathways 2 project. The board, you're reading this. I'm like, wait, you can read that. The board approved.
Okay,
That's
so
yours.
on June 8th, 2023, the Board of Trustees convened in closed session to consider the termination for convenience of is it Sunduit? Sunt Construction from the SBVC Career Pathways 2 project. The board approved the termination for convenience by unanimous vote with all board members present and voting.
Okay, and with that, our next meeting of the board is the board retreat on June 26th and 27th, 2023 at 8:00 a.m. in the boardroom. And the time is 6:33, and without objection, we're adjourned.